leaving Borussia Dortmund this summer as clubs try to meet his reported 100 million release clause. Dortmund is known as one of the best clubs around the world for developing young players and turning them into superstars. Even though they've lost players like Jadon Sancho in the summer, a new wave of talent is breaking through. Combined with some of the veteran leadership in the squad, you've got Mats Hummels at the center back position. He has a storied Bundesliga career with both Dortmund and Bayern. Rafael Guerreiro, also one of the top defenders around the world in terms of his overall rating, but many say he's more well suited to an attacking role like left midfielder. Of course, we've still got Haaland for season 1, and we'll see how many goals he can contribute to this Dortmund squad, closing out the crucial squad role players with Marco Reus. Former FIFA cover star and at the club since 2012, he is one of my favorite players. But let's talk about some of these future talents in the Dortmund squad. Youssoufa Moukoko has recently been added into FIFA 22. US men's national team international Gio Reyna has struggled with injury problems this season, but when he's healthy, he offers great link-up play with a lot of the Dortmund attackers. Jude Bellingham making the transfer from Birmingham City a few years ago, and he's practically stayed in the Dortmund team since he arrived. Although he's only 18, he shows experience beyond his years, and I could see him eventually becoming one of the world's best midfielders. But as far as our homegrown talent goes, no pre-order bonus this time around, so we're seeing a slightly lower potential player. I like to mix things up every now and then, and that we will do with Vestergaard. Although he's currently listed as a striker, I see him becoming a center back because we can easily work on those defending attributes. But it's not a realistic rebuild unless we try to replicate results heading into January. Dortmund have had an alright season in the Bundesliga. Bayern again looked to be the top team in Germany, but it was a disappointing outing in Champions League as Dortmund finished third in their group, knocking them a step down to Europa League. We'll talk more about that competition later on, but I want to show the progression in the squad. As we have a lot of younger players in the starting 11, we're going to see some early rises in overall ratings. And for board objectives, the priority is just not to get sacked by the board. That is not going to be an easy task, as the objectives for Dortmund are quite difficult. Winning the Pokal, winning the Bundesliga, and trying to reach the semifinal of Champions League, which of course we've already failed. The 73 million in our transfer budget will be going towards our youth academy system, already starting with a 5-star scout, keeping him in Germany for 9 months, looking for any type of player, and then adding another 5-star scout from Switzerland. He'll be sent to a new country each year, but for season 1, we'll be setting up a network in France looking for a winger. And it looks like we've already got a decent prospect in our academy. Morin, a 69 rated left winger from France, 17 years old, so eligible for promotion. And Vestergaard has seen a decent jump up in his rating, up plus 10 in his overall at that center back position. We'll try to get those players out on loan as soon as possible so they can start to compete for playtime. But I think the biggest transfer for Dortmund this season was a pre-contract deal from Bayern. Niklas Süle, whose contract comes to an end in 2022, will be joining Dortmund on a free next season. But in regards to Europa League, I think a lot of you will know that Dortmund actually lost out in the preliminary rounds to Rangers. Unfortunately, we can't get those exact matchups, and in order to keep our job, we will be looking to progress in Europa League as we defeat Napoli 2-1 on aggregate into the round of 16 against a Bundesliga opponent in Frankfurt. We'll win the first leg 3-2 and the second leg 3-0. It's Leverkusen in the quarterfinals. Another good outing in our home leg, 2-1. And in the away fixture, we're level 1-1, putting us through 3-2 on aggregate and up against Leicester City in the semifinals. Bellingham gets us a goal shortly after the halftime break to make things 2-0 in the first leg, 2-1 in our favor in the second leg, which means that we will be playing in a cup final here in Season 1 against Olympique Lyon. Now, Dortmund actually don't have the most history in Europa League. They're typically competing in Champions League as they can achieve a top 4 finish in the Bundesliga. And it's going to be more of the same in this rebuild as we've already qualified for Champions League next year, courtesy of a top 4 finish. But you can see how dire our 50 manager rating is, so we'll try to get a slight boost by checking off this continental success objective. This is a matchup you'll usually see in Champions League, and we have a familiar opponent in Jerome Boateng at the center back position. But I think for us, the big focus will be on Haaland. It's going to be his last match as a Dortmund player, and we'll try to have him end his career here on a positive note. Let me know in the comments what you think will be going on with Haaland in future seasons. What club is he going to go to, and how do you think he will perform? Personally, I think if he goes to a team with a good supporting cast like Manchester City, that can give him lots of chances. He can put up similar, if not better, numbers at the new team. He will give us the opener in the 25th minute. And now that we've got one, we'll try to add another goal. Meunier pushing up from the right back position, finding Marco Reus, and it's eventually Bellingham who tries to get the shot on target. But now Lyon with their first highlight, Lucas Paqueta was trying to make the most of a weaker right-hand side in this Dortmund squad. There has been a lot of speculation about whether Meunier can be the top right-back option for them as he continues to lose out on these defensive battles. Toko Ekambi does well to bring the ball down, and a spectacular finish to provide the leveler 64 minutes in, and now it's anyone's match. These are the kind of Europa League battles you love to see. But as we near the end of regulation time, it was a late substitution by Gio Reyna that will prove the difference. He was instrumental in the build-up play and a cheeky finish from Haaland. There are a few better ways to see him go out. A brace in the Europa League final. And I can't speak for Dortmund fans, but I hope a lot of them will wish him well. His contributions to the club have been enormous. And as one of the best strikers in the world, he deserves to be playing in Champions League on a regular basis. It's a trophy and, more importantly, Champions League qualification checked off for Season 2 as Marco Reus lifts the silverware. And recapping all results, we already know how the top half of the Bundesliga ended. For the relegation zone, it's Frankfurt and Augsburg that will be sent down. Union Berlin participating in the promotion playoff final. In Bundesliga 2, our rivals Schalke will see the return to the top flight alongside Hamburg. Hannover taking part in that promotion playoff final, but losing out to Union Berlin, who keep their spots. An early exit for us in the DFB Pokal as we lose out to Mönchengladbach. Stuttgart actually being the eventual winners. That group stage exit in Champions League was disappointing, and none of the teams from our group reaching the final, with Inter winning the competition against PSG. Of course, we went on to win Europa League 2-1 against Lyon, and for Conference League, it's PSV that defeats Spurs on penalties. It's no surprise that Haaland was the top goal scorer for the club, up +3 in his overall, 31 goals from 49 appearances. The next closest was Marco Reus with 19. Haaland also leading the Bundesliga in goals. Reus will show up in the assist category though, 13 assists from 51 appearances, so despite his age, he continues to put up good numbers. And checking in on Maureen, he was sent out on loan to Crystal Palace, going up +11 in his overall, and 2 new finds from our youth academy, both of which from Germany. Dietrich is a 68 rated center back, 78 to 92 potential. And then we've got a shot stopper goalkeeper in Jorn Koch, a 17-year-old with a 65 rating, 75 to 93 potential. Some work to do on our manager rating, but with a full season ahead, we're hoping to see a rise. Lots of changes ahead in Season 2, both in terms of departures and arrival. We already have the pre-contract player arrival of Niklas Süle, who I think will have no problem earning a starting 11 role in the Dortmund team. In regards to Haaland, it's a matter of waiting to see what offers come in. But for board objectives, again, very ambitious from the board. They want us to sign 3 of the best players in the world with an overall of 82 or higher. Domestically, winning the DFB Pokal, winning the Bundesliga, and trying to reach the final of Champions League. Hopefully not seeing an exit in the group stage this time around. It won't be an easy pathway ahead though. We have last year's Champions League winners in Inter, as well as the team we just played in the Europa League final, Lyon, and AEK Athens. It's a rise to our transfer budget, 116 million. I do plan on using a good amount of those funds, especially now with the departure of Haaland, and surprisingly not a whole lot of offers came in. The only offer that I think was worth considering was this one for Manchester United, a 268.4 million bid. We just went ahead and accepted that straight away. At the time of me recording this, still no definitive answers as to where Haaland will go for the 22-23 campaign. But a heavily rumored Dortmund arrival for next year will be Karim Adeyemi. He's made the move to Norwich in this save, but the Salzburg player has been putting on quite the show this season. Of course, Salzburg is also one of Haaland's former clubs, so you got the link up there. And if the reported 40 million fee is what Salzburg wants, I think Dortmund should go ahead and try to bring him in. We only had to pay 30 million for this rebuild, and only a 77 rated player. The thing about Dortmund is they give younger players with potential a chance in the starting 11. We're gonna do just that. Also looking to bolster our defense by signing a center defensive midfielder. Kamara is linked to a lot of top teams in Europe and has been the last few seasons as his contract comes to an end at Marseille. A popular option in career mode and a welcome addition to this Dortmund team as he signs for 50 million. That's a good start to cleaning up any defensive issues, but we're not stopping there. Nico Schlotterbeck has been one of the standout players in the Bundesliga this season. The Freiburg player probably has his pick as to which one of the top teams in Germany he wants to go to. But with a preferred left foot and good potential for the future, he's just what we need at Dortmund. 25 million was the transfer fee, and he must have had his contract running out as well because we signed him for significantly less than his current evaluation. Our final signing of the summer is an interesting one. I wasn't sure what we would be doing regarding the Haaland situation. Of course, we've got other strikers available like Daniel Malen, who recently arrived at the club and then Moukoko, who will probably be ready in a few years' time. But for now, we need to make sure we have enough squad depth available, and we'll look to sign Marko Arnautovic, who is actually an ex-Bundesliga player. He played over at Werder Bremen. 20 million on this transfer fee, which was just slightly more than his current evaluation. Now, for departures, I expect Dortmund will see quite a few players leave next year. Starting with Akanji, he's been rumored to go to Manchester United as they look to find a long-term center back, but he'll go to Liverpool for 42.5 million in this save. Hazard submitted a transfer request, which is a bit unfortunate as I saw him as one of the squad rotational, if not starting 11 players, but he'll go to Champions League winners Inter for 30 million. Axel Witsel headed to Serie A as he joins up with Roma for 11.2 million. A very cool transfer from the computer here with Nico Schultz. Hoffenheim was his former team before he joined Dortmund, and I think that is the club where he had the best formats, so hopefully some better times ahead for him. Finally, Roman Bürki also joining up with Inter for 9.5 million. We made a few loan deals happen, but the one that I want to highlight is the one for Moukoko. I know he's got good potential in career mode, but he's just not going to get the playtime he needs to develop as a player here quite yet. So we'll be watching him closely as he spends the rest of this calendar year at Leeds. We'll continue to try to develop for the future another network in Germany for 9 months looking for any type of player. And you know I had to do it. Dortmund has played a big role in helping develop quite a few players for the US men's national team, such as Christian Pulisic and Gio Reyna. Maybe we'll find the next talent here as we search for a technically gifted player. But to kick off this season, we'll begin in the UEFA Super Cup, unfortunately losing that fixture 2-1 against Inter. But the Bundesliga and Champions League is definitely going to be more of a focus. Here is the starting 11, and you can see I've opted for a change in formation. What I like about this move to 3 at the back is that it allows Schlotterbeck, Hummels, and Sula all to be part of the starting 11, while also letting Guerrero push up to a more attacking role, which you can see he gets a +7 in his overall while playing as a left midfielder. We'll see how this change of formation has done for us as we check in January 2023. A disappointing outing in the Bundesliga, but not exactly unexpected. Dortmund have had poor starts to their league campaign before, but have turned it around. We'll need to do that again here in this rebuild. But for Champions League, we've done quite well, finishing top of our group, which again wasn't an easy task because Inter and Lyon are both good opposition. While I started the year with Adeyemi as our left forward, I decided to bring in Julian Brandt because he was just too highly rated for me to feature him off the bench. We can still make sure he gets enough development for the rest of this year as we kick off the round of 16 Champions League fixtures against Juventus. A 0-0 outing in the away fixture, but at home we continue to be dominant. The late goal from Bellingham will seal it and push us through to the quarterfinals against Roma. Who knows if Axel Witsel is actually featuring for them, but it wasn't a great outing for our opponents as we won the home leg 3-0. Second leg ends 1-1, which means that we've got a semi-final matchup against Manchester City. Raheem Sterling always seems to score against me in these rebuilds as they won the first leg 2-1. However, we turned things around. Adeyemi and Marco Reus with goals to put us through 3-2 on aggregate. And it's a Champions League final in Season 1 up against PSG, who again reached the final in consecutive years. Usually Champions League finals is how I end off these realistic rebuilds, but I'm considering a change in direction moving forward, and I'd like your input on it because we haven't yet become the top team in Germany, finishing second in the Bundesliga and losing out in the DFB Pokal final. What I'm going to do in this rebuild, regardless of result against PSG, is that we'll push on until we become the top team in Germany. Let me know your opinions in the comments section, and I'll implement your feedback into future rebuilds as well. And kind of a side note, Marcel Schmelzer has been at the club for a long time. He's retiring at season's end at a 60 overall. Definitely won't be featuring in the match, but I'm going to stick him on the bench. That way he can take part in the celebrations if we do end up victorious. Arguably the toughest side to come up against early on in career mode, PSG have had a good path to the final, scoring a lot of goals and not allowing a whole lot defensively. And this opening highlight shows how good they can be. Messi with the left-footed pass will find Mbappe. I can't get over that assist enough. It really was spectacular, and Mbappe gets the opener. But fortunately, we're able to get a pretty quick response, even if it doesn't end up in a resulting goal. It shows that this PSG defense has its weak points, and Marco Reus was really getting into the box so often. We just could not get the equalizer goal. Shortly before the halftime break, we will make no nonsense about that opportunity. Reus with the first time finish, and as he celebrates in front of the traveling fans, we have finally a bit of momentum on our side shortly before the halftime break. Right after kickoff, though, we're going to see typical stuff from PSG. It's Mbappe with a long shot effort, and this has happened to me before for these rebuilds. He just scores spectacular goals. This is one of the worst times to be conceding. I felt good level going into the break, but now we find ourselves behind again. Still plenty of time for us to change this result around, and I am really glad that we decided to sign Adeyemi in this rebuild. I know he's a popular option in career mode as far as transfers go, but I think he is quite realistic for a Dortmund save, and I'm glad we made the most of the opportunity as he was a joy to use in this rebuild. Quite the run there to find the equalizer, and just minutes later, we're going to see a typical Dortmund counterattack. Again, it's Adeyemi who finds himself in front of goal, and he will make things 2 for him, 3 for us to give us the lead. Playing with a 3 at the back formation has its risks and rewards, but I think in this match, the rewards outweighed the risks. Again, just some fantastic passing play, and it's Daniel Malen who gets the easy tap and goal. But that was all created by Adeyemi. Just some good awareness to spot out the pass, and the keeper, obviously, nothing he can do about that. From here on out, we're just going to try to be tactical with our substitutions, bringing on some more defensive-minded players. Emre Can, I can't speak about him enough because although he's not in the starting 11, he's just so versatile. You can play him from basically center back to striker, and he'll still see a positive sharpness, which you can't say for a whole lot of players. But Malen with a good finish to make things 5 on the day. That was the final highlight as Bellingham finally achieves greatness here with Dortmund. The signings we made here in Season 2 made the difference in this Champions League final. And as Marco Reus starts to get older, you have to wonder how many years he has ahead for him, but I'm glad to see him achieve success on Europe's biggest stage. Reviewing results, Bayern were by and far the best team in Germany, and for the relegation zone, we have Greuther 4th, Hamburg, and our rivals again, Schalke 04, who will participate in the promotion playoff final against the 3rd place team in Bundesliga 2. Can Werder Bremen see the return to Germany's top flight? Yes, they can. Schalke being sent down, which is sad news for them, but probably an entertaining thing to see for any of you Dortmund fans. Champions League final, of course, we won that against PSG. Europa League goes to Milan, and Everton winning Conference League against Feyenoord. I wouldn't say we had a direct Haaland replacement, but more so, we kind of evenly distributed the goals across our front 3 attackers. Adeyemi, pretty good numbers in his first season here at Dortmund, +4 in his overall, 19 goals from 43 appearances. For the assist category, Guerrero playing now a left midfielder role and getting into the double digits there. Unfortunate stuff for Moukoko. I think maybe we should have waited out for a different loan offer. Not from Leeds, where he probably didn't get too much playtime, only getting a +1 in his overall. Remember that scouting network we set up in the United States? It has paid off. A technically gifted talent here with Christian Bishop, 70 rating, 89 to 94 potential. There's no telling we'll be able to see him at his peak rating because we probably only have a few years left with Dortmund. A slight rise in our manager rating as well, up to 67, and now we'll try to become the best team in Germany for Season 3 of this rebuild. With Dortmund now having another Champions League final in their history, I think we can persuade some of the top talent in the world to join us rather than some of the other teams in Germany, particularly Bayern, who we look to overtake in the Bundesliga. I think there will be some transfer offers coming in for Jude Bellingham. Again, it's tough to say how long he'd be willing to stay here at Dortmund, whether he's going to be a long-term player for the club or whether he has ambitions to eventually play in the Premier League. Our board objectives and personal objectives for this season are quite simple. We're looking to check off this critical priority domestic success by winning the DFB Pokal and winning the league title. We might even be able to repeat in Champions League as we have expectations to reach the final. We definitely have an easier go at things in our group as we have Sevilla, Shakhtar Donetsk, and CSKA Moscow. And just ridiculous numbers in our transfer budget. There's no way I'll be spending 342 million, but I still think that's some excess from the Haaland departure last year. And this is what I mean regarding Bellingham, a number of offers coming in. For starters, there was no way I was going to accept the Bayern offer, but Spurs and Chelsea were the 2 teams that stand out from the Premier League. I thought Chelsea was the better destination between the 2. Let me know if I made the right decision here. But anyways, he will be joining Chelsea for 110 million. It seems like midfielders were the area of focus for clubs around the world. The top 3 most expensive transfers were all for midfielders, and I think a notable departure for Bayern is that Goretzka will be joining Manchester City. To make up for the departure of Bellingham, I wanted to bring in a Brazilian talent and another box-to-box midfielder in Lucas Paqueta. We played against him in Season 1's Europa League final, and I think the Lyon man will be a good fit. First off, he's left-footed with those high work rates, teammates, and he has green attributes all across the board. I was actually surprised to see Brazil was the top 4 nationality for Dortmund with a number of players in the club's past. We'll see if Paqueta can make a name for himself at BVB. A small housekeeping change as Paqueta makes the swap over to center midfield. No change in his overall, but I really wanted to take our Champions League victory last year and persuade someone like Ginter, who has made the move away from the Bundesliga, but maybe he's chasing some more career achievements and Dortmund could be the destination for him. Of course, a former player, but it's a different Dortmund team now compared to when he departed from Mönchengladbach, signing for 42.5 million, still a few years ahead of him, so we're basically set up at the center back position. The one weak point in our team is we still need a good squad rotational striker. We signed Arnautovic last year, but he's going down in his overall, so I wanted to sign the next top prospect. Holček was my top priority, but he was too crucial of a player at Sparta Praha for them to let him go. So instead, we'll look at another viable option and actually someone that has a higher overall rating. De Ketelaere has to go down as one of the most versatile young prospects in career mode. And I think he'd be the perfect fit at Dortmund. Someone with high work rates, so is willing to do everything for the badge. And of course, a pretty good 4-star skill move, 4-star weak foot combo. Maybe he can grow into a great future player as he makes the occasional appearance off the bench, signing for 60 million, which was just below his current evaluation of 62.5 million. But another competition to kick off our season that isn't the Bundesliga, it's the UEFA Super Cup. Can we finally be victorious here? Yes, we can. Adeyemi with a 76-minute goal to seal the victory. And now, all focus will go on German competitions, starting with the Bundesliga. We're sticking with this 3-4-2-1 formation. It's worked well for us, and I see no reason to change. If anything, our players are only going to get better. We'll see how the squad has performed halfway through Season 3, and this is one of the largest gaps I've seen in the Bundesliga standings. 14 points clear at the top. Also top of our Champions League group, so we've now become one of the best teams around the world, and results are showing in our favor. Here's a look at the squad. Like I mentioned earlier, the only way is up for this Dortmund squad. And now we've got expectations to win the Bundesliga, the Pokal, and continue to compete in Champions League. Speaking of Champions League, our round of 16 fixture is against Milan, who is a former club of Lucas Paqueta. It's Richarlison with a 77th minute winner, and it could have been worse. Just not a lot went our way. Emre Can with an own goal. And we were nearly through in the second leg. An 86-minute goal from substitute Gio Reyna should have been it, but Marco Verratti making the transfer to Milan provided the 90th minute equalizer. They were the better team in extra time. So unfortunately, we'll see a round of 16 exit in Champions League. It's not the worst thing because now we can focus on competitions in Germany. This match against Bochum in mid-March can seal the victory for us in the Bundesliga mathematically. A win will do it. We end up getting a draw, which was actually enough because of Bayern's results. So if you count the UEFA Super Cup that we won at season start, that's 2 trophies checked off. We can still win the treble this season, as long as we win this DFB Pokal final against Hoffenheim. I was hoping to maybe see Nico Schultz in the starting 11, but he is nowhere to be seen. We're definitely the better team on paper, but can we get a good result to go with it to close out this rebuild? Up to this point, one of the standout players has been Adeyemi ever since he made his arrival here at Dortmund. I feel like he has worked his way into the starting 11, and now he has the goal numbers to show for it. We also very much deserve our spot in this Pokal final as we defeated Bayern in the semifinals. And here is Adeyemi working it down the left-hand side, and it really should have been a goal for Malen. Just had to find the far side net, but he'll get his chance for redemption here as he goes to the far post. And he is going to rocket that effort into the upper left-hand corner, giving us the lead in the 39th minute. Julian Brandt, who has had a comeback year at Dortmund IRL, playing a big part in that goal's assist. One goal is, however, never enough, and we'll look to build off that momentum, but just before the halftime break, it looked like Hoffenheim might get their goal. It's a goal line clearance, though, from Ginter. You love to see that on the defensive front. It's something that I don't highlight enough because the attacking highlights are just a bit more entertaining. A great run from Paqueta. If he had finished that off with a goal, that would have been a contender for one of the best build-up plays leading up to a goal. But here is De Ketelaere making an appearance in the 56th minute. How can he do as a future prospect here at Dortmund. I've got to say, Hoffenheim showed a lot of resilience throughout this match. They continue to create opportunities, and there were some close calls, but here in the 78th minute, we're looking to make it 2. Royce with the cross, Adeyemi going with the headed effort. We really should have had more goals, but a 1-0 result is enough, and it's a treble-winning season for VfB. You really can't ask for much more. Taking a look at final numbers, we finished 26 points clear in the Bundesliga. Some remarkable stuff there. It's Arminia Bielefeld, Hertha Berlin, and Augsburg bottom 3. We will, of course, win the Pokal against Hoffenheim and a 2-1 result at season start against Milan to check off the treble. The round of 16 exit against Milan was again not enough for us to repeat in Champions League, but PSG, some dominant stuff from them, reaching the Champions League final in all 3 seasons. It's Real Madrid to win the Europa League against Aston Villa, interesting matchup there, and RB Leipzig to win Conference League. Adeyemi's contributions continue to go up, going up +4 in his overall, 33 goals from 48 appearances, and showing to be the best attacker here at Borussia Dortmund, also leading the league in goals scored. Guerrero again will earn the top spot for assists, but I can't highlight enough the contributions from Marco Reus. The fact he's 35 years old and still went up +1 in his overall is pretty much unheard of in career mode. But our manager rating ends at a 55 overall. Despite that, I would still consider this to have been a successful rebuild. If you have any suggestions